On the fourth Sunday of Christmas, Sharon shared with me a hot cocoa packet. Slip off the ribbon, and there you go. You don't need to glue that down or add some dimensionals or glue dots to get that to stay in there. It stays in there just with this little ribbon holding it on. And we slip it down there. And see, it stays in. It stays together. Let's see how we make it. We're going to begin by cutting a piece of garden green cardstock to 3 3/4 inches by 11. So there's the 3 3/4 inches, and it was 11 to begin with. And now we are going to score, so we're going to use the lighter gray scoring blade, and you can use your Simply Scored tool if you preferred that here, but I've got my paper trimmer out, so we're going to do that and use that, and we're going to score at 4, 4 1/4, and 9 1/4. And that's all we have to do to this. All these measurements will be in the tutorial that I post in my weekly email that's going out on tomorrow, Monday. So if you are not subscribed to my email newsletter, then go ahead and do that now. The link will be in the description of this video. And when you do that, you'll also get a free download for another idea. And you'll have a printable PDF for this particular project. All right, so here is the base of our little packet holder. And now, if you've ever had hot chocolate, you know it's thicker at the bottom. Usually it's thinner at the top. That's why we had this score line down here. And then just this fits very nicely in there. Now we need to decorate. So in order to decorate, this is going to be the front. So we need to decorate this little piece here and then this little piece right there. So we need a piece, this piece right here is going to measure 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to go in and take a bow DSP, and there's several different designs here. And I don't know which one to choose. I like this stripe and I like this stripe. Let's see. I like the colorful ones. I like this one, the polka dots. I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. So my card base could have been granny apple green or real red. I chose the garden green, but you could choose any of those. So we're gonna go with 3 1/2 by 3 3/4. So 3 1/2 by 3 3/4. And then we're gonna have another piece. Well, let's attach this one first, I suppose. That one goes on this little section right here. You can see how nicely that fits in there. And then we want to do the same to this other section right here. So this little section right here needs a piece, and it needs to be the same width as this, which was 3 1/2. But because this right here happens to be 1 3/4, we want this to be 1 1/2 inch wide. So a quarter smaller. So here's a length that's 3 1/2. So 1 1/2 will give us a nice 1/4 inch border. well, 1/8 all the way around. So see how now my borders are nice and neat. Now you would want to be careful if this was directional paper, because you'd want to make sure that it would be right side up when you go to fold it. So it comes together like this. So you'd want to make sure that it is, it's right side up when it looks like this. All right. So now we're going to decorate. I mean, we can go ahead and put our Swiss Miss in here right now, because the decorations are just going to be added afterwards, and they can be added right to the front. I'm going to bring in a piece of this silver and white. Or you know what? There's another ribbon. You know what? I haven't used this ribbon very much. Let's use this iridescent kind, because it kind of brings out the granny apple green in the light. So let's do this one. This is the iridescent striped trim. All we're going to do, we don't even need to adhere our packet in place. It will stay in place because this ribbon is keeping it in place. So I like to tie on the spool of ribbon so I don't waste much, or as much as if I didn't anyway. So I'm just going to wrap that around and pull the ends through. My ends want to go wherever they want to go though. So then I just play with it until I'm happy. There we go. That looks pretty good. Just snip that off. So I would say that if you are, well, I can go ahead and just measure it right now for you. This looks to be about 21, 22 inches. So if you wanted to cut off a piece to begin with, because you don't like tying it on the spool, you're probably looking at 22 inches. If you like a lot of extra room and play, then start with, say, 24. And you can always trim at the end. All right. So we'll just play and adjust our ends till we're happy. There we go. All right. And so my packet, it stays together because it's held up here at the top, and it's closed enough to hold that bottom in. So now let's go ahead and decorate this front. Although this is just really cute the way it is. You could just put a tag on here that says to and from and call it a day. But I'm going to bring in the More Than Autumn stamp set. So it is more than autumn, even though you've got the pumpkin and the cider and fall and apple. We also have hot cocoa and eggnog and peppermint. All the great things for winter and Christmas. So let's see what we've got here. I'm going to bring in the hot cocoa because that's what's in the packet. And there's a sentiment that says, this calls for. And where is it? This calls for, no, this calls for right here. Oh, I didn't see it because it was on the other side. All right. Let's bring in some blocks. And I need something to put this on. So we've got a lot of lines and right angles. Let's throw in something very different. Let's throw in a circle. I'm going to get out my stylish shapes, which is my absolute favorite of my dies. And I keep grabbing the wrong ones. Hold on, here we go. Stylish Shapes. And we want something that's too big, not too small. That one's not a bad size. Let's see, let me put this one away for a second. That one might be a little bit too small. I think I'm gonna go back to this. So it's the second largest one. And if I were to measure it, because you could also use a hole punch, you know, just a regular circle punch, it's about 2.5. So I would say that the 2.5 or 2 3/8, 2 1/4, that would be all in the right size department to use. So I'm going to cut that out of a piece of basic white. And then I want to cut out my cup and my whipped cream. Ooh, maybe even the marshmallows. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with all of that. So there's the whipped cream, and here's the marshmallows. Here's the cup. I think that's all I need. And do I have another piece of basic white? No, I do. Because here we go. So we're going to stamp my cup in Memento Black, Tuxedo Black. All right, we need our whipped cream as well. I'm just going to put that right on the back here. And we'll put that one down. And then, let's see, we've got our little marshmallows. I need to start cleaning my stamps. I have to use them. Here's my little marshmallows. All right, that's good. Let me go ahead and clean these stamps just because I want to use, I'm about to stamp some words in a few minutes, and I want to be able to see through. So I have to take off these little guys. And since I've got my stamp cleaner out, I might as well clean the other parts. There we go. They're ready to be put away. Let's bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Ooh, almost got my fingers right in the black. Let's bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we've got our numbers 1, 2, and one of the number 3 plates. I'm gonna just cut out a circle so I don't need anything holding that in place. The dies that go with the More Than Autumn, I keep in the die set or the stamp set itself. So we need the cup, we need the whipped cream, and we need the marshmallows. And because there's so many things and my plates are kind of getting loved, used a lot, I just tape these down so they don't wiggle. All right. I think that's good. And then we have our whipped cream. Yeah, I see all the outline. That's good. All right. Put that in. We're going to put this in and do everything in one pass. There's another number 3 plate going on top. Oh, I just noticed a shock. when I was putting away my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it cannot, oh, that one shifted. Oh, that one wasn't good. You know what? We're not gonna use the marshmallows. Marshmallows are just gonna have to be under the whipped cream, hidden where we don't see them. All right. I guess my tape wasn't holding it very well. All right, now we need to color this. Now, one of the things that we can do is we can give this little wrap a nice little treatment with designer series paper. We could do it with this green, I'm just going to pull out some of the scraps that I've got with this designer series paper. I like this one. That's kind of nice too. We could do the stripes. We could do the red. I kind of like that. That's really festive, isn't it? All right. I'm going to pull back in my ink pad here and just I'm going to stamp that right there. And it doesn't matter that the bottom didn't ink, because all I'm concerned about is this little piece right here. I'm going to cut that out. Cutting right on the line. This is called paper piecing. You're piecing it together, or you can think of it as you're using pieces. So that looks just like that little nice wrap right there. Let's go ahead and color the rest of our cup though. Now I'm not going to color it like in crumb cake, because I think, you know, that represents the hot chocolate that's in it. I'm coloring it. Oh, you know what? Let's color it. Let's not color it that. Let's color it a green. Let's color it a granny apple green. It kind of goes with the rest of it. I know it's not a Starbucks green, but this is my dark granny apple green. And I just come and we're going to have a red and green cup. Just going to come around the outside here, kind of give it a little bit more shading out here. Helps make that illusion of the cup being 3D. And then I'm going to color in with the light. We'll blend in those edges a little bit. Blend in those edges. Okay. Let's give the whipped cream a little bit of something. I'm gonna bring in my light crumb cake, I think. We'll just kind of go along some of these lines. Softens up, takes away some of the harshness of the black. Well, Sharon, why'd you stamp in black in the first place? Because everything else is being stamped in black. But you're right, I didn't have to do that. There we go, that softens it up quite a bit, I think. All right, let's piece this together here. And I think it might as well just put the glue right here. And put this right over the top, lining up the lines here. There's my little cup sleeve. And on this little piece, I want to stamp some words. We got some words out earlier. We got this calls for and hot cocoa. Let's stamp that in real red. So if I get out, let me clean this up a little bit here. If I get out my little packet, this is gonna go right here. This will go over here. We'll put our little piece up here. And this calls for hot cocoa is gonna go right there. So that's about my border right there. About a third of the way. So this calls for and then where's my hot cocoa? Clear stamps, sometimes hard to find on the work surface. This calls for hot cocoa. Let's glue this on the front of our card or our project. And get it nice and straight. Come in from the edge just a little bit so you can see some of that DSP peeking through. And I think we'll attach the rest with some dimensionals. And might as well use up some of my edges here. Put it on at a bit of an angle. And then I'm going to just add one little glue dot here. And we've got a nice, fun topping there for my hot cocoa. If you wanted to add some of the marshmallows here, I would die cut them. I wouldn't stamp them directly right here, only because that's probably not going to end very well, right? So we could die cut again, stamp again and die cut again. And here we go. I just put these right down here, right next to the hot cocoa. Yep, that works. Just tuck those in right there. Just breaks up some of that white that's on the bottom here. And there we have a cute little hot cocoa packet. All you need to do is slip this off, and there you go. If you wanted to, you could add a piece of basic white here and stamp something on it and then maybe write a little note. But what a cute little party favor, or just a nice gift to give, you know, mailman or anybody you just want to say, hey, have a little treat on me. And that is our 4th Sunday of Christmas.